Good morning. Good morning, all. This is Spirit Journey, and it is now about 13 after 4 a.m. in the morning. Boy, how time flies. I had just awakened at 3:09 in the morning. Yeah, my telephone rang, so I picked it up, and I didn't speak. Like sometimes, I just lift up to hear who will respond first. Sometimes it's an electronic call. So upon my lifting up the phone, there were three tones. It went deet deet, it went deet deet deet, and that was it. And so I hung up. So wow. But yes, now this video is not to be about my telephone, but it's just something that just happened. Well, as you see with the title of this live stream early this morning, I want to talk about a sensitive issue. It's very sensitive to me. Um, and I still, I'm not sure how much I want to share in this. I mean, how the depth of it. Because some things I'm not really ready to really disclose right now, but maybe I just might. Yeah, I'm in my room right now, and I'm just, since I just got up, so I'm just showing a picture of my plants. And this is my little dog here. Yes, it's her birthday. She just turned 9 years old today. Happy birthday, Lily. Yeah. So, okay. Well, as you see with the title of this live stream about hair, nails, skin, and tattoos, um, as it pertains with blacks, well, I see that in those disciplines of skincare, nail care, hair care, and tattoos, that when it pertains to blacks, you never equal to the rest of the market. And somehow with each of these disciplines, that somehow you get the short end of the stick. At least that's how I feel right now. And something happened to me yesterday, and I feel that someone, like in my experience, living in New York City, being born and raised here, that again, someone just got over. Someone just bailed out on me. That's how I feel. And no, I don't want pity or anything like that. But it's just how I feel about what I'm going to discuss. And I've discussed certain things about it in past videos, but this one has to do with another sensitive issue. Maybe I kind of, before I really talk about it, maybe let me start with the hair first. Okay, that's not as sensitive to me. So let me talk about that first. Okay, now some of you may not know, but years ago, over 30 years ago, I went to cosmetology school here actually it was in Jersey City. And in Jersey City, they had a vocational school. It was designed back in those days, 30 years ago and more. People learned skills. Like if you weren't college bound, really. You just want to get a quick skill so you get a job. Those are options for people. Some people know right off they're not into college, or maybe you don't have the time, you need something to learn quickly so you can make money. Even though I started college, but um, at that time, I really wasn't, I wanted to look into other avenues. And I actually like creative things. I like working with my hands. And I had a former classmate that went into cosmetology. They too started regular college, a 2-year college, and I started a 4-year college. And for whatever reason, she decides to leave college, her 2-year college, and go into cosmetology. And there she focused on hair. So I think, when I found out that she changed occupations, because I think she was entering into accounting, and then she decided to go into cosmetology and cut hair for a living. And upon my talking to her and everything, I said, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I was into doing, I was learning how to put on my makeup. I like putting on nail polish. It was fun for me. And so one February, actually it was earlier, it might have been December, and I think the school was closed for the season. And it said the school reopens in February. So in February, I went down there and I enrolled in cosmetology. And back then, most of the people in that school were whites of Italian ancestry. You had one Polish person, and these were blue collar uh, young women from uh, blue collar parentage. They were okay. They were just regular people from New Jersey. And upon my enrolling, I was the only black person there. And then I went to that school for 1 year. And within that 1 year, you had, there weren't blacks that went there. When people of color started going there, there weren't non-Hispanic black people. They were Hispanics from, let's see, 2 of them were from Cuba, and one was from South America, all Spanish speaking. And of those Cubans, they were similar to my complexion. The guy was my complexion, the lady was just slightly lighter. They didn't finish the school, and then they had the one from South America. She was a lighter, like a yellow complexion. They were very nice. They were humble, the ladies were humble. But they didn't finish. They didn't stay. Um, I stayed the longest. Um, but before I enrolled in the school, this was a big hint to it. Now I had a so-called friend back then who lived in New Jersey, Jersey City, right up on Kennedy Boulevard. And she liked to get her hair done. I wasn't really, even though I was experimenting with my hair, like with different hennas and things like that, but I wasn't really into my hair. I mean, I did, I did what I could do with it. Um, but this female friend of mine, she was into doing her hair. She colored it. She would, relax her hair and have it styled and everything. And she brought me to, I accompanied her to a salon. And she was to get her hair colored. I think they call it a cellophane. It was like a vegetable dye or something. It was a liquid. And he used this applicator. It was in a plastic bottle. And the tip of it had like a comb, a built-in comb to it. And you were combing through the hair. He was very careful doing her hair and blah, blah, blah. And um, I was, the conversation started gearing to, that he has a school. He teaches at a school. And then he mentioned about his salon. He was the owner. And he says, oh, well, yeah, in the school we teach all different types of hair and everything. And, this salon, we do the black hair care. We do that upstairs. And we can have the different fumes and everything, intermingling. It doesn't work well. Blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, I was very naive, but not that naive. Okay, I'm not that naive. And so I said, well, you have all different things. You have people doing, nails. You have um, people getting their hair straightened and then hair permed. You're getting the chemicals of the skin. Oh, but with the black stuff, and the white, they don't mix. The hair, the fumes, and it doesn't. It could react. And I know this was BS. So I didn't have the guts to tell him that the person that he was doing was a black woman. She was a very light-skinned black woman. She was a mixed race. Her father was black, and the mother was um, Asian, a Asian and European mix. But if you've seen her, you just say, okay, this is an Asian woman, from India. And she was like a cream color skin, but she had very exotic, she had Asian eyes. She looks like this news reporter. Oh, I forget her name, but looked just like her. And but he's assuming the girl is Hispanic. And my friend's hair wasn't that much different than mine. The texture, I think her hair was a little thinner than mine. But she straightens her hair, and I was at that time, my hair was straightened, but it was like, if your hair is naturally curly and you've never chemically relaxed your hair, and then you chemically relax your hair, the hair that's been chemically relaxed for many years, it's easier to train to keep straight versus hair that is newly relaxed. Your hair is still used to being curly. At least that's with me specifically. So my friend's hair is used to all that heat and the chemicals and stuff, and so it's trained to stay straight. But her hair type is really not that much different than mine. And again, my skin is brown in color, as you see here. Okay, a nice, beautiful brown hair, skin. So he's doing her hair, not knowing that she is a black woman, and he's using all this applicator that you probably use for straight hair, and he's using it on her hair. And he's taking so much care doing her hair. And he said, oh, well, yeah, we do the black people, referring to me. We have to do your hair upstairs. And I know how I felt. I said, this guy's I question what he's telling me. But I know, especially back then in the 1980s, that this is racism 101. And you can't really argue with them. They make up stories about black and white people, you know. And you know, if my friend's features were more uh, North American black looking, but still pale like that, she would have had to go upstairs or wait for another technician to do her and not this guy. And I thought the guy was a South Asian. That's what I thought. You know, he had kind of wavy hair. His skin wasn't that much lighter than mine. But it turned out he was a Sicilian or Italian. And he's married to an Ashkenazi person, woman. Uh, so I'm really like, wow, why are you talking to me like that? And you're an Asian man of some type, and then to find out he's Italian. But I felt like he was being prejudiced in a nutshell. But he told me about the school that he teaches at, and it's a vocational school, and you can learn to become a cosmetologist. And he and his wife teach at the school, and it's really inexpensive. So I go and investigate the school, and I decide to go. His wife teaches the cosmetology part, and I'm the only black in the classroom. And I said to myself, yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. I'm just noticing I have a viewer. Yes, I'm out and about talking about the politics with hair, nails, skins, and tattoos, and that when it comes to black people, we're never treated equally. So I'm just relaying. I'm not sure when you came on, but you're welcome to say hello and to talk in the chat and just say hi, how you doing, so I can give you a hello. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I hope you can hear me clearly too. I have my headset on with the speaker because I know I have a soft voice, and so I really want to be heard, especially with this video. And this is sensitive for me to speak about, but I really want to share it because I feel it's necessary. In 2018, life hasn't changed for over 30 years for me. And each time in my life, I'm thinking, oh, racism's a thing of the past. No, it's not. So, anyway, so I do enroll in this beauty school. And the beauty school, I basically enjoyed this school. But um, at the school, I did hear the N word spoken right next to me as it pertains to hair. This was a Portuguese woman, Portuguese immigrant from Portugal. I don't mean from Brazil. This is a European from Portugal. She has like a slight what they call an olive complexion, and she's sitting and talking to an Italian girl, also with an olivey complexion, and he's sitting right next to me. And the Portuguese girl says about her hair. Now her hair was very short, cut like maybe an inch high, and what they call coarse texture. And with some hair that's coarse in texture, now when I say coarse in texture, um, it's about the thickness of each hair strand. A hair strand that's very thick is classified as coarse texture. And then you have hair strands that is very, very, very thin, and they call that fine texture. So fine texture doesn't mean that it's better, and coarse texture doesn't mean that it's uh, bad or good. It's just a description, coarse or fine texture here. So she has coarse texture here, and she explained, if she gets her hair relaxed, or I'm sorry, permed, when she gets her hair permed, and this is a perm meaning what white people get, when they have the perm rods and they put the solution on and then they neutralize it and then remove the rods and you're left with curly hair. Her hair looks more like an afro. And again, it's cut very short. She says, oh, if I get my hair permed, I look like and use the N word, okay? And I was offended. But I talked to her. I said, well, and my background, I'm part Portuguese also. So I want her to let her know that, yeah, I might be a black person, as is obvious. But the Portuguese and black people aren't so separated in history. You know, I didn't say, but that was the message I was to convey, and she mellowed out, and she, I guess, in her own way, apologized, and I left it, just forgot about it, but she got my point. Um, and then again, let's see. Now this hair school, they covered, like, we went through a book. And so, so she'll cover different things like nail care. We talk about the diseases with nails, um, the technique of, how to do hair color. And we did discuss very briefly about doing hair relaxers for curly hair people. But it really wasn't done much, and it really wasn't covered much. Basically, how the school went. Um, the girls would do each other's hair. Back then in those days, and again, everyone else there is European, of European ancestry, mostly Italian, and they had one Polish girl. And everybody seemed to know each other. They're from the same neighborhood. Yes, good morning, viewer, good morning. And yes, everyone would get they would do each other's hair. They would do what you call hair frosting, when they lighten their hair with the aluminum foil and the solution, the bleach, the peroxide. And that's all they basically do. They do each other's hair color, and they do the perms, but no relaxer because no one really needed. Oh, one of the girls though, she did have she was an Italian girl with a natural blonde afro, very coarse in the back of the head, and then in the front is a little looser curl, but she got an afro, blonde, a natural blonde afro, very white skin and blue eyes, and her father came to the school. Her father was a barber, and he said, my child is going to learn uh, barbering and hair care because I'm a barber. So I want my girl to learn it. She was still in high school. She was 18 years old and still in high school, but her father wanted her to learn that field. And I guess when she graduates, she could do her own thing, but the father was proud of what he did for a living, and he wanted his girl to learn it too. I respect him for that. He was Italian or Sicilian, and his skin color was almost like my color. And this is my color, okay? His color was naturally this color. His daughter was very self-conscious of the father. And yes, he came from the old country, had a heavy, heavy accent. And here his skin is very white, blue eyes, nice, nice color blue, light blue eyes. But that blonde afro here, she never had her hair relaxed or colored or anything. She never had anything done, I remember. But anyway, um, so that's what school was like. And, but while I was in school, I said to myself, this is very typical of me. I said, well, this is a new field for me. I want to see if I would really like this field. I know I've been in school now for 2 months. I want to see if I can get a job doing nails. In school, I like doing nails. I used to do my nails all the time. I'm fascinated with nails. So I said, I know. I'll see if I can get a job in a beauty salon that does nails as well, and get in that way, and just see what the industry is like. So I got a job right away. Um, it was the owner. She was a British lady, a white British lady. She was very nice to me. She was nice. And I said hi. I was really really young. I was 23 years old. Yeah, I think I was 23 going on 24. Yeah, I was 23 going on 24. Yeah, I just turned 23. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I just turned 23. And I tell them, I started school in January, and I'm interested in doing nails. And do you have any positions open? So I said, she said, well, yeah, I can bring you aboard. Is X amount of money okay? I said, okay. I didn't know anything about. It was a little bit of money, but I was still living at home, and I just wanted my feet, to get my feet wet in the business, just to get my feet in there. And it was um, a a full service salon. Uh, it was in let's see, on the east side on 50 something street. Yeah, 50 something street on, I think, Lexington Avenue or 3rd Avenue. It was what you would classify back then as a white salon, a white people salon. And you had some celebrities that went in there. People from television would go in there. And the people that worked there, you had, let's see, 3 Hispanics, 2 of them from Peru. Their skin color was darker than mine, much darker than mine. They were what you call native Indians. You had a Cuban who was like a yellowish complexion. They did the nails, and I remember they had an East Indian girl. She was very dark in color, very, very dark, dark brown. And you had, I remember, at least 3 or 4 white people, one of them a white woman, the rest are males. And then you had one black fellow that was there. He wasn't there every day. I don't remember him there a lot, but he was there if a black person came to the salon. That's what he was there for. And then you had the people who did, the wash the towels in the back and clean up. They were from Southeast Asia, and one of them was from Haiti. Yeah, she did Southeast Asia, and the Haitian woman washed the towels and everything in the back and tidy up. And then it was me. Now I was very open-minded. This was a new field. I love toiletries. I love shampoos. I like nails. Oh, this was going to be like being at a playground, I thought. This was going to be fun. But it wasn't fun. Um, I did nails. They had me just do the basic nail because I was still in school, still training. I was brand new. I was there to just do just basic nail, basic manicuring and pedicure. And I like doing it, but I see I had a lot to learn. Um, what was the point now? Now, oh, I'm trying to remember now what they hear. But it it seemed to make. Oh, I remember now. Like even in the salon, like in schools, people would do each other. You know, the one hairstylist would do another person's hair there. They would do each other's hair when there was a break and when there's no one there. But somehow, when I was to get something done, it was always an issue. And the boss always so happened to come in the room. It's like I never won. But I remember I was getting my nails done. She was from Russia originally. Most of the people there, at least maybe a little more than half, were foreign born people from other countries. And I was American born and raised. Uh, but when she was to me, like I was curious how she did nails because everyone raved about how she did nails. But I made an appointment for her to do my nails. And then the racism seemed to come about. She said, "Oh, with black people, with the cuticles, black people's cuticles are different than everybody else's. If you cut the, black people's cuticle, that it kind of rolls up in the skin because the skin is very thin over there, and when you cut around that, it." Now, did I need to hear that? If she knows by just looking at what my cuticles would do if it's cut. You cut, you treat whatever according to the person's skin type, what specific what their needs are. Her as a nail practitioner. It's same as like when I go to a white person and say, oh, with white people's cuticles, you can cut them so far back up. It's not so. You could do so much with the white people cuticle and blah blah blah. It's redundant. You just do and treat the nail. You're the technician. Just do what has to be done. You don't have to throw in someone's race or whatever. Just do the nails. But I sense now I was still new, very young and naive, still about racism in New York City. Why when other people get their nails or hair done, you never hear anything about their race or their color. Nothing. They just do the service. But with me, it's always an exception. And I have very nice hands. I have a very nice nail bed, very healthy cuticles. But why is all this drama with my nails and the cuticle of the nails? Okay? So I see, there were other things with the hair industry. I went to a convention once that was in New York City. Like, since I was still in school, our teacher told us about the convention, and it was like a class trip. And she, when you're under, like a school or in training, or you're a profession practitioner, you have your license, you can get into the convention, and you pay your way to get in. So we were able to get in, and you pay to get in. And I remember walking, seeing displays, and there was a man, and he looks at me, then he lifts up this book, but it's how he did it. And he was a white man, and he had a book, and the cover was of a black person, and I think it was for hair care. And he just, it's how he waved it in my face, I didn't like. And it's like, wow, I don't know, I felt self-conscious. And do they do that to white people and wag something in front of their face like that? Or is he just doing it for me? And with the books, now, here is, I mean, I know here isn't here, just here. I mean, every here is different and unique and special and beautiful. So why with the here books, why is it that white people have their own books and then the black here is in a separate book? Why is it separate? You ever go to a doctor? When you go to medical school, they don't have a medical school for black people versus white people because, you know, you're going to be working on different types of people. And, you know, both groups have different health needs. They don't do that. So why is it, yes, hello, viewer, hello, and you're welcome to say hello in the chat if you like. So, okay. So anyway, with the, you know, you don't have that in medical school. You don't say, oh, well, you know, I only specialize in liver for one race versus another race. No, you do everybody's liver. So why is it with hair care or skincare? It's like always seem to be kind of separate. It's always stigmatized when it comes to black people. And so I remember that incident with the convention, the beauty convention for cosmetology. And I felt uncomfortable. And I wasn't comfortable before I went in there. So I remember there was other incidences. I can't really remember on the top of my head, but it's always seemed to be an issue. And oh, I remember, like at the beauty salon, I did mostly nails, and then I was also required to do shampoos. And I love doing different people's, I love shampoos. And they're all different types of hair. Like when you do people's shampoos on their head, you feel all different hair textures. You feel it. Hair is different. Hair responds so differently. It's so unique. The human race is so many different textures. So how could you, even with among white people, you have to have subcategories with white people because they're all different types of hair that white people have. And the same as black people, too. All different types. But as I told you early in this live stream, if you weren't here, that with hair, with black hair, it's so unique, and how that hair salon that I went to, that told me about the school, the beauty school, they were working on a black person and they didn't know it. And they were saying that they have to keep the black people and the white people separate. And they have to do them separately because the fumes, the different fumes of the different types of chemicals will interact with each other. And so that's why they have a segregated beauty salon. the anger that I felt, and I knew that they were BS, saying things I know is not true. He was a bigot. And I remember that same guy. Oh, I know he said something. Oh, either way. So I know there were other incidences, but with everything, and it was really catty, the industry of cosmetology, the school and the jobs. I saw that it wasn't going to be teaching me how to really do black hair care, and that it's going to be segregated, that you're going to have segregated shops. And so if you're white or Asian and even Hispanics, you can go to the same salon, but if you are visibly a black person, you have to go to the black salon. And at first, that wouldn't have been really an issue for me, but what was the issue for me was that the school was not really equipped. The school didn't focus on black hair care. And the students were all Caucasian. And so I was the only non-Hispanic black person. And even though my hair isn't as tight a curl as many North American blacks, non-Hispanic, I would be required, because of the way I look. That was another thing I noticed with school, with the beauty salon. They go by what your race is, what you look like, who does whose hair. And I remember a woman, she looked like a white woman, but they didn't know that her hair, now, but she had an afro hair. So she might have had a hat on or something when she came in. And so, okay, she's a white girl. But when they saw her hair, they couldn't get out of it. They couldn't back away and say, oh, they can't do her hair. They assume she's a white girl. Look like a white lady, white skin, white features. Has a European American accent. But she had African type hair. And oops. And they looked at it real weird when they took. And another lady, well, okay, that's as far as I go. I don't want to say more about that. Okay, but that happens. And so they did do African-like texture here. But, they would have probably said no if the skin were brown or black in color. But but you have white people with naturally like loose curly hair. A lot of people with red hair have curly hair as well, But they do those hair types. And you know who else does curly hair that I noticed? This is just to stress my point about hair and about being a hair professional. Okay, now I have 3 little dogs. And now this is my little doggie here. Her name is Lily. She's a Havanese. And she has curly hair. Okay? She has naturally curly hair. In the back, her hair is a tight curl. And then in front is a looser curl. So I keep her hair relatively short because it's easier to manage for me if it's cut a little shorter in the back, because in the back it's a tighter curl, and it gets messier looking. Okay, so I'll keep it short. Now, when you go to dog grooming schools, now again, most dogs I see have straight hair that lies flat against the skin, while you have a few number of breeds of dogs that have curly hair, such as the poodle or the couton, right? Those are naturally curly haired dogs. And they do a beautiful job. They are taught how to do poodles. They have curly hair. They have a cute little hairstyle for them, and they get paid good money if you know how to do a poodle. And they're really prized poodles. You go to the dog shows and how they show the poodles haircut, they look regal, especially those big poodles, those giant poodles. They do a beautiful job, and it's their pride to be able to do that afro textured hair of the poodle. You never bring a dog to a place and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't know how to do curly hair in dogs." They do all of it. That's the point. They are taught to do both. All texture hair dogs. But humans, for a reason, when you go to school, somehow when you go out there, they, based on what you are, now because my skin and my physical appearance is Negroid, I would be required to just do black people. But yet, okay, now that wouldn't bother me so much. But what bothers me is that the schools aren't training me to do black people hair, black skin care, you know, black nail care. Because again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, that black people's cuticles on their nails is different than whites. So somehow that's um, that's not focused on. They don't train you. It's not an in-depth study, at least at that school. And again, most of the people are white. And so I became frustrated. I said, okay, I see how this industry works. If just not based on what school I went to, okay, because all the schools basically back then in the early 80s really um, focus on Caucasians, you know, straight hair and Caucasian skin. But yet, even though you go to the same schools that the whites go to, you will be required to do one type of hair. Yet they don't really equip you how to do it. And the whites definitely don't want to do black people's hair. Why is that? Because it's racism. In a nutshell, whites are taught to be, at least in the United States and New York City at that time, that whites and blacks are socially segregated, even in the beauty salon. And so I did work in two Caucasian salons. This is like in the middle of town, right in the middle and the heart of New York City. That's where I worked. I worked in two separate salons. And they both worked the same way, that if a person of color, or I should say black person, not person of color, a black person came in, they'd directly direct them to the black person. Now, how does that black person know anything more on a professional basis how to do that client if the schools that we are taught in don't really focus on black hair care, the techniques, how to do afro textured hair. And then the whites go scot-free, they don't have to do it. So they hired that one black person just to do, if by chance a black person comes in there, and all the others do white people Chinese people, like that. Okay? Someone did share with me once the person is a mixed race black person with very, very strong Native American influence. She has very coarse hair and uh, afro, afro texture, but very coarse um, hair. Her skin is a little lighter than mine, and so people just assumed she was Hispanic. No, but again, she has afro textured hair. That's coarse texture, not straight. The salon had a white, a Hispanic, and a black uh, technician, hair technician. And she went in the salon, and she's been in there before. Um, but when they directed her, I guess the person at the front desk just automatically, okay, let's have the Hispanic do her. They just mistaken her for a Hispanic because of her native blood influence. And the person who knew her says, no, she's black. So and so's to do her, something like that. And so she was redirected for the black person to do her hair. Now that Hispanic person was wasn't going to have a problem, or they didn't make an issue about doing her to do her hair. So it's not based on your hair type, but what they think you are, your class, your racial slash, excuse me, ethnic classification. And that's what they based it based on who's going to do your hair and if they're going to do your hair. And even in I remember one other incident, there was a very dark skinned East Indian woman. And I remember they didn't want to do her hair. She was a client, like in the beauty schools, they allow um, people to come in to get their hair or skin, whatever what's to get done. And that's how we also get our practice. And it's cheaper to get done. So that's what a lot of people do. They want their hair done or their nails done, and they don't want to spend all that money. So they go to the beauty schools and they get get it done real cheap. And the white girl was making an issue about doing the East Indians' hair. Yeah, she had bone straight hair, as they call it. She had extremely straight hair and long. What you see in India. So they can't say they don't know how to do her hair. But they didn't want to do her hair. And I sensed in my spirit that they didn't want to do her hair because of her color and her ethnicity. And that bugged me. It's like, your beauty school, it's like a medical school for hair, so to speak. You don't discriminate, you just do hair or nails. It's your craft. But they don't see it as that. So, so I mentioned about hair care. I mentioned about the nail care, about, the stigma. I remember even once I wanted to do hand modeling. And I was always told I have nice hands. So I said, hey, maybe I can do this. And I remember the person at the agency say, oh, we have hands like yours already. Now this is just, I sent the photo in. They never saw me in person. I just mailed in the photo to the agency. Oh, we have hands like yours already. So I'm wondering, what hands like mine? I mean, like any agency, you want different types of people because different needs might be required. You don't just have one white person. You have several. But right away, I sensed that even hands were racially classified. Okay? And that they have enough hands of color. Just like at the beauty salon, if you want to get a job in a beauty salon, oh, we only have a black technician. And that means they just have one. But you have a lot of technicians who are white, um, Asian, Hispanic, but they just don't want you. So it is a little sensitive. I knew what the deal was. I never argued with them. I just took it as it is. And I decided at that time, with all that drama that I experienced working in a beauty salon, two of them, in fact, almost forgot. I don't know how I could have forgotten this. I was applying for another, um, applying at another salon. Oh, I remember. The second salon I worked in, okay, it turns out they didn't want me working there, the other people. Now, again, I was hired to do just basic manicuring back then and to shampoo. They were complaining about me behind my back. And one day when I came into work, the manager of the store had told me, she was a nice lady. She was a Jewish woman. I remember she was pregnant. Very nice. Very, very nice lady. And she said to me, she says, I got to tell you something. They were complaining about you and they were saying, oh, you're too slow. And, she's holding me back. Now, with here, when you're doing nails, now someone might say, oh, well, my client's getting her nails done, but, she has to get her hair done too. So what would happen is the nail technician would could do a manicure while she's getting her hair done, and which I had done. So that wasn't the issue. You can complete giving the nail service while they're getting their hair done. But this wasn't enough for them. I'm the only black woman there, and I was fired. Okay? And they never told me anything. But the woman, the manager of the store, liked me. She said, I'm really sorry, because they're all really complaining about you, blah, blah, blah. But, she says, I, hey, we have another salon. And, it's our top salon. It's really high end. And we own the store. I'll call so and see if they need a nail technician. And yeah, you'll like it there. It's really nice. It's even nicer than this one, she said. So I said, okay. And so she calls up, hey, hi, so and so. You need a nail technician? Oh, great, great, great. I'll send her over. Oh, black. Oh, okay. Okay, bye. Oh, I'm sorry. That they won't be able to hire you. You know, I want to make another phone call. Just go out the room. Well, let me explain what just happened in that conversation. Now, the manager liked me, and she wanted me to have a job, and she knew of a really nice place that I could work in, and she asked the manager of that store if they needed a nail person, and they said yes. But they asked what my race was, And so she said that I was black. And so they didn't hire me. She did the manager of the other store didn't know I was in the room while the manager's having a conversation, and I was denied that job. But she now has to talk to the manager while I left the room to go back. That hey, she heard, and you got to interview her. So the manager calls him back in the room. He says, "Okay, go back to that place and the interview." Well, I hesitantly went. It was a fat Italian woman there, and she was not nice to me at all. And I didn't get the job. I forget what the conversation was, but it was not positive, and it was humiliating. I mean, I felt humiliated. So here, see, that's what happens in this industry. See, people don't want to say what it is. And so you have a field of people from all over the world who are hired to do hair, nails. Now, how different is nails? Nails is nails. But it was my race. They didn't want black people to do nails there. But you can get your nails done there. It was extremely high-end salon. Oh, it was really, really nice. I'm going to give the name. It was, what's the name now? He, um, it was the Henry Bendel Salon on Fifth Avenue. Harry or Henry Bendel. And it was owned by the Glenby Salon. Glenby owned Henry Bendel salon in there, even though it was considered more high-end. The location was. It was really, really. That's where maybe royalty people go. All the top celebrities, that's where they went back then. And a couple of years ago, now this was 30 plus years ago, and just a couple of years ago, to help overcome the pain that I experienced from being rejected from there, I went back in there just to see what's there, what it looked like. I just went to the front desk. I went on the pretense to find out how much they cost and what services they do there, you know. But yeah, that's what I did just to overcome my anger. But yeah, so for those reasons, yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot that it was so long ago, that experience with that lady. And I did have a friend go in there on the pretense of she went to get her nails done, something. She went there to check it out because I told her what happened. And that same lady was talking about me to her. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I wasn't completely stupid. Yeah, I had my friend, had a light-skinned friend, and went in there. In fact, it was the same lady that brought me to that salon, this other salon, where the guy thought she was some other race, and did her hair. But if he would have known that she was a black girl like me, he wouldn't have done her hair. Yeah, I had her go in for me, and she was saying horrible things about me. The lady that rejected me at the Italian lady at that uh, Henry Bendel salon. So for those reasons, I saw that my experience in the beauty field would be limited. At least that's how I internalized it. That it would be restricting me solely because of my race, and that I would be pigeonholed to only experience certain types of hair, and it would limit my abilities as a full practitioner of the field of cosmetology. So after 1 year, I didn't go, I didn't return back to the school. Yeah, I stopped going to that school, and excuse me, and I thought, hey, let me just go back to my old job. Yeah. So, what does that have to do with now? Well, that ugly head rose again about certain fields. Now, I talked about hair, nails, and hair. Now, we're going to talk about skin. Well, skin is also an issue. And I have a feeling if I went to a school to learn just skincare, and based on my skin, what my race is, that it'll be limited, I think. That will have to do certain types of skin and not just the whole rainbow. See, I'm all inclusive. See, my nature, my true nature, my true soul is the collective, the whole spectrum of life. That's me. That's my true nature when I was growing up. And then racism colored me and colored my whole perspective of life. So I know racism is man made, it's not natural. So a couple of days ago, no, it was yesterday, I'm sorry, I experienced something as it pertains to skin. And it offended me because I sensed that they were backing out from servicing me because of my race. Now I know with skin, they're all different types of skin. And yes, with skin, you have skin that could sensitive in the sun, um, other skin that in the cold winter months that it doesn't absorb as much vitamin D. Yeah, those two extremes. One that can burn easy, and one that in low sun rays that it could affect your body because you're not making enough vitamin D3, and it could cause serious side effects like depression. And I know skin could heal differently. Like some skin is prone for keloids. That's just skin that's hyper in its scar tissuing. So you have a whole spectrum, and each skin has its own sensitivity to chemicals. Some skin is very thin, some skin is very thick. So even within different races, it it varies, and you'll never know until you do a testing on that section of skin. Well, I should just go and say it because eventually you're probably going to find out. I didn't really want to talk about it. I guess I'm a little, only one person knows. Only one person, and that's my twin. And they found out by accident, by I thought it was going to cover, but it didn't. And my twin saw it. Well, let me tell you guys, and um, well, I had gotten a tattoo. That's right. That's right. Spirit Journey had gotten a tattoo. In fact, I'm going to sit up for this. I'm not going to show myself. But yeah, I got a tattoo a couple of months ago. In what month was it? August. I think it was August 9th. August or September. Yeah, I think it was August 9th. I got a tattoo. Yes, so did you hear me there, viewer? I know I'm taking long for this, but I'm a little embarrassed. But with this channel, Spirit Journey, It's about sharing. It's about really being honest with my viewers and myself. No one else in my family knows about it, and I had gotten a tattoo on the top portion of my arm, and it sort of was spontaneous when I decided to get it. It was a period of maybe 4 days or 5 days that I thought about the design that I wanted, and then I went to different places. I went to, let's see, I went to a place. The first place I went to check out was from this. I saw a lady that had a tattoo that I liked, and they gave me the name. So I went to visit that one, and I immediately felt uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that my head started hurting really bad. It had bad vibes for me. And then I went to a neighborhood place. Wait. I went to the neighborhood place first because it was right nearby where I lived. And I felt comfortable with it. And I said, well, let me, see for variety's sake, the original store that I was going to go to. And I had an immediate headache. So I said, hey, let me try Uptown. Uptown is black. And so I went to Uptown along the strip. It's been a couple, maybe 1 or 2 years since I've been up there. But I said, let me check it out. If they do tattooing that part of town on 125th Street, and they do. But I noticed each of the salon, the tattoo places there, it was like it really looked seedy, really looked really dirty. They were always like the place was within a plate, like you have these Asian shops that sell this fake jewelry, real fake looking jewelry, the bling bling stop type that they call it. And in the back of those bling bling stores are the tattoo parlors. So it's like a business. So that they're most likely subleasing from the leaseholder. And I went to about 4 or 5 of them personally. I walked in, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't want something like a sublease of something, like you're on the fringe there. Be a real professional. Get your own place. Even if it was a place within their grandmother's basement. Get something that's theirs, that's in their neighborhood, that's in their territory. You know what I mean? I didn't want something of a sublease of a shop that sells inferior quality goods. If you see, how I feel is where, what you do is a reflection of you. And if you're going to do business with someone that sells fake jewelry, fake gold jewelry, isn't your work going to be fake also? That's just how I feel. That's just what I feel. And so all of them were like that. I wanted to go, yes, hello, viewer. Yes, I was just mentioning about the big secret here. And the big secret is that, yes, Spirit Journey got a tattoo on the top part of my arm. Yes, what they call a half sleeve. I got it done around in August of this year, 2018. And I shopped around. I was just mentioning that I went uptown after going in my neighborhood where I live, a couple of blocks from where I live, and downtown I checked out. And so for variety's sake, I say, hey, I want to see what they're doing uptown on 125th Street. And all the tattoo parlors there really looked seedy. They were subleasing space within this fake jewelry, fake gold place. I just didn't feel comfortable with that. So I went back to the place that's in my neighborhood, and I was there for quite a couple of hours checking out their stuff. They had different types of people, like a lot of these tattoo parlors. They seem to have this edge to them, like I call it violence. Like the tattoos look violent oriented. They have the body piercing thing. It just has a dark edge. Now, I don't want any dark edge on me, you know. I want to consider tattoos an art. I want an art on my sleeve, you know, upper arm. It is an art. And I want something that is a work of art on me. I'm not making a statement of, that, I'm not into violence or anything like that. But I wanted to make a statement for myself, something that I could touch and be encouraged to do great and mighty works. And that's what was the real motivation for me. And so this tattoo parlor that I went to, that I decided to go to, it didn't have that dark edge to it, that drug element. It didn't have that. It was clean. The practitioner who did me, he did have a rough exterior, but I liked him. And what I liked about him was that he was a fellow New Yorker like myself. I like my fellow New Yorkers, regardless of race. You my fellow New Yorker. I love you. I mean, I love all people, but it's nice to see a fellow New Yorker because my experience now, I don't see many native-born people, and sometimes you feel a little lonely. Sometimes, yes, sometimes I feel a little lonely, and his archetype was just, he was a Caucasian slash white person. He was from Brooklyn. And yes, he was that stereotype Brooklyn blue collar worker. But he was real, you know, rough on the outside, but, a soft heart, I think, on the inside. So I could relate to him. I say, he is who he is. He acts like an alpha male, and I like men. I like men who act like men, yes. Spirit Journey loves the alpha male. I feel you guys, I feel your heart, you know. You might be misunderstood, and I feel I understand you. So I decided, after looking at his work, his work is eclectic. He does a lot of little of everything. And his shop, he wasn't the owner, he was the manager, he said. And so I say, hey, I feel comfortable. I don't have the heebie-jeebies as the other salon that I went to, tattoo parlor. Um, and you had suburbanites that went in there, these white ladies from the suburbs from Canada that was there. And they had a nice time. We were all talking and everything. And, you know, so I decided to give him a chance. So I came back again the next day and I say, I decide, I'm interested in getting this done. And so, in short, I get it done. But, he did a horrible job. And so I decide I want to get it done over. I'm a little embarrassed about the tattoo, how it looks. It's very unprofessionally done, in my opinion. And so I was looking for what do you call, places that remove tattoos. So I actually went to two places for them to look at. And then I found at one of the places it has a tattoo removal service and a tattoo parlor. And this tattoo parlor, it's a studio, and they get guest guest tattooers, world famous tattooers, work displayed on the wall. And I found a tattoo artist. Oh wow, his work looked fantastic. He has a Twitter account. He has, what was that now? A Facebook account. And yes, he's a white person from Europe. And he does, oh wow, he really has a good touch. You know, his work is really nice. He has the themes that I want in my tattoo. And that's why I said, hey, I'm going to check out this guy's work, and went on his website. So I emailed him. I said, I would like a free consultation for you to look at my tattoo. And um, I found out about you from the tattoo removal place and blah, blah, blah. And I told him the color of my skin in the email. And so 2 days ago, I made an appointment to see him, and I saw him yesterday. And I showed him the tattoo, and then here comes the biasness. I mean, the theme, like when I was younger, 30 years ago, that is, it's an excuse now. Okay, here we go again. So this is what happened. So I showed my tattoo, and I said, I don't like how it came out. It's very unprofessionally done. Um, it's all muddy looking, and I saw your work, and I like it. So I want to know how much, and I think it's a direct question. I said, how much does it, what could be done with it, and how much does, if I do have to have it lightened or removed, how much of it does it have to be lightened or removed for you to work on top of it? He's going looking side to side, and he says, uh, dark skin is not my specialty. Okay, this is my skin. Okay. He says, dark skin is not my specialty, and you know, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, I know this guy. Yeah, I think he might know how to do it. Yeah, I think he's more expert at it. Now, he didn't tell me anything else. He gave me his name. It's like his name's like a two-letter name. And then the manager or the owner of the salon is right there. And he says, hey, so-and-so. And then he tells them, he say, it's not my specialty. I specialize with color. A lot of my work is in color, and you know, I don't think I can do hers. Now, added like on his website and stuff, he asks you, what do you want done? For all the people on his web, who visit, you have to let me know what you want and whether you want it in color or black and gray, they call it. So why is he telling me, oh, well, I work mostly in color and so I can't do you, when you do both? You do color and you do black and gray. You're a tattoo artist. And I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know, viewers, if you hear what I'm talking about with the tattoo. I want to make sure I am heard. I have my headset on and with the mic. And so just type in that you can hear me or not. That is clear. Yes, hello, viewer. So this is what this award-winning tattoo artist. He's world renowned. He's in all these competitions. He has many awards for cover-up tattoos, um, color tattoos, or, this guy is winning the awards. He goes to conventions. He's trains and he's is constantly working. And this is in an area. Now this is in New York City. I live in the heart of New York City, where you have virtually every skin tone that lives here in New York City. You have the lightest light, you have the darkest dark, and a lot in between. And my skin is a medium brown. It's not super dark, it's not super light. But this renowned tattoo artist is now saying, well, I work mostly with color. So and so is, I think, more equipped to work on your type of skin. And hey, yeah, give, so and so, he's telling the owner of the salon, I mean, the tattoo parlor, um, contact so and so, take a picture of her tattoo, contact him, and find out what he thinks, because he doesn't know what to say. Now, my tattoo on my arm is very, it's not just portions. Is it dark in color? It's the what I got on my arm is what they call black and gray scale. And so black and gray scale is, in a routine laser removal, it generally could be removed. So the owner of the tattoo parlor says to me, he sits down next to me and he takes the picture and then he says, well, have the laser, we can't, he says, look, we can't do anything for you at this state of the game. I said, yes, I'm aware of that because it's just done and it's probably still healing. And he says, well, I can see it's healing very nicely. It's healed. And then he says, well, you need to go back to him. Now, yes, there is a tattoo removal place right there in that tattoo parlor, but I shouldn't be required to have to go to that one. I could go to any tattoo removal place, not just that one. But he says, you need to go back to him and really find out what he thinks. But I said, well, he already told me what he thinks. And it says, he has to do the top half first and then the bottom half a couple of weeks late, like 6 weeks later, and then do the whole shot, the whole thing. And then he'll be able to ascertain about, how, you know, if it could be removed. So, but I feel like he's putting me off. And why I feel this way is because, well, if the tattoo artist who's there can't tell me because he doesn't work with this skin type, I just need to know how much lighter. So get me in contact with the tattoo artist who is more familiar with my skin color and how much lighter to remove it, so that he can get it, he or she, whoever, could remove it. Or, I'm sorry, who could do something on top of it. So it doesn't make sense to go back to the guy, the tattoo removal person, because they already told me that, that you'll be able to pretty much get good results because a lot of your work is all in shade. It's shaded. It's not really deep into the skin, just the lettering, whatever, the sharp lines that, that would require more work. But overall, it's a lot of shadow work, and that should come off real easy. But I feel that he's trying to get off the hook. And I'm acting, oblivious, um, and I just kind of yes him. He's just saying, just make an appointment and we know what to do from there. I don't know. But what about the person, the contact? So I just say yeah, and then I go towards the door in the mirror and put on my things. And I said to myself, wait a minute, I don't have any more knowledge, pretty much, as when I walked in here. Let me go back and be more direct. I said, look, I don't really understand what you're saying. Now you mentioned about that other person. Could I get his name? And anyway, how is that person going to get in contact with me? He doesn't have my telephone number or anything or even my email. How is he going to get in contact with me? Oh, well, you need to go to the tattoo removal place, make an appointment with them, because we can't do anything for you right now. I said, yeah, I know that nothing could be done right now because of the tattoo that's on it already. But I need to know how much, if anything, how much of it has to be removed so that the person that can do the tattoo can do it. That's what I need to know. Oh, well, you have to. So I'm back to square one. They don't have my contact number. They're not going to give my, they're not going to, I'm not going to be able to talk to that guy. I should just, they should have just given me his contact number and I talk to him directly. But that's not going to be done. And I sense what they're saying is, we don't want to do you. Whether you lighten your tattoo or not, we are not going to do you. And we're not going to give you the contact of the person, alleged person, who could possibly do brown skin or black skin. And that's my issue, folks. That is my issue. So I'm back to square one. Yes, hello, viewer. Yes, hello again. Yes, so that's my issue. That this world-renowned tattoo artist backed away because of my skin color. And he's backing away from doing color on my skin because evidently brown skin doesn't do well with color tattoos. Okay, I sort of had that idea and was told that from the first time when I was to get my tattoo done initially. But even getting the gray stone, what do you call it, black and gray work done on my arm, he doesn't want to do. Yet he does both, and in his website, he clearly says he does black and gray work and color. And yes, he does a lot of color, but he's an artist. So even in the tattoo world, it is racist or racialistic. And based on your race, because maybe they're afraid about the scarring, and black people's skin scars. Well, so do white people. And when you get in laser work done, your skin could scar, whether black or white. I saw over the internet what could happen when you use laser treatment on some skins, and they could be white people. And it looks spooky. I feel hurt again that this professional, yes, he works professional. He has his gloves, he has the mask on, so no spit or breath is going on the exposed tattoo while he's working on it. And, he's particular. And yet, I'm being denied this service from a very respected tattoo parlor place in New York City, in the heart of New York City. See, I could see his response about his not expertise. It's not so much expertise. You get a tattoo, it's going to lighten. It's, you're going to get it lightened with the laser or whatever, and then you have the cover up tattoo or something. But to him to not even want to try, just like in the hair business or getting your skin done, a facial, it's always something. They never want to do you, white people. And so even though I live in a big, big city of millions of people, and again, what I was going to say, that I would understand that if I was living in, let's say, Scandinavia, where a lot of whites are, so I can understand that. You're in a white country where they have very little immigration of anything. I could understand that because you're not working with it. But you're living in the middle of a city, and this is in Midtown, Manhattan, and in an area where you have a lot of people, a lot of people who are my color. Okay, it's a lot. And it turns out that this tattoo parlor do the tattoos for free, but you have to pay for the time to book space at that tattoo parlor. Okay, so the tattoo you're not actually paying for, you're paying for the time to rent out time, so to speak, at the tattoo parlor. That's what I found out. Okay, so these tattoo artists are invited to this space from all over the world. And here this renowned tattoo artist, and he wins all these first place awards in his field of tattoos, but he doesn't do brown skinned people. And he won't do black and white scale anymore on this brown skin of mine. So how do you think I feel? How would you feel? How would you feel when the manager of or owner of the tattoo parlor sounds like they're covering up and a nice way of brushing me off, not giving me the name of the person who works on this type of skin color of mine, and just say, go back to the tattoo removal person who I already saw. There's nothing more for him to say. Only thing he can say, when the last thing he was saying was that this was maybe 2 months ago, that it requires more time to heal, and maybe in 4 weeks it'll be perfect to get done. And then you could get the service, and it should work out pretty well, the removal. So what more do I need to do? Why go back to him? I don't want to have to go back to him again and hear the same crap. So I feel angry, and I wish there were places. See, black people have to have our own institutions. Now, I'm not talking about segregation. See, if you're a real professional, you do all people's skin, because you need to learn all different types. Not all people of the same race have the same type of skin. Not all white people's skin behave the same. Just like you go into a doctor, you go into medical school, you work on all types of people. But here in the tattoo world, it's segregated. And I notice also when you look at tattoos, when you go to different places in towns, they mostly do white skin. And it's like, where do black people go to get a professional tattoo done? Where do you go? And when you want it removed, where do you go to a practitioner that works with black and brown skin? Where do you go? Let's say you want to go and become a tattoo artist and you're a black person or a person of color. Where do you go to learn your field? I went to, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this live stream, that I went to a beauty school. I studied cosmetology for 1 year, part-time. And I decided to leave because of the discriminatory practices in the field of cosmetology, which restricts your learning of black hair care, black anything. And now, 30 years later, being reminded of this biasness of the tattoo industry, so separate, and we have to get it. We have to learn how to. We have to be our own scientists. We have to learn. We have to be our own doctors, our practitioners, and to be professional. Be perfect. No matter what you feel, you decide to go into people who are watching this video. My message here is not about race. It's not about being a bigot. It's about being a professional in your field of choice. If you're a tattoo artist, learn all skin types so you can service people. I live in New York City. You have all different skin types. All different types of skin. But somehow when they come to you, they don't want to do you. So, this is my message. And I didn't want to talk about the tattoo. No one has seen it. And I'm not ready to show my tattoo, in this live stream right now. But let's be professional so that we could help one another. Let's say if you're a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a social worker, let's learn how to do all types of people. And this too was a problem. Talking to a mental health practitioner and just wanted to talk to somebody. And I asked to talk to a black healthcare provider. And the person, they had a black health provider, but the person didn't want to talk to a black person. And another person I met in the mental health field, a dark-skinned black woman, I met on the train, and I was leaving school at the time. I was a student back then. This was a couple of years back. And we just started chatting. And she sat across from me. She told me she's, I forget whether she's a psychologist, but she's a mental health practitioner. And she told me right up. She said when she started work, she works at Rikers Island. Rikers Island is a prison. It's a jail facility. I'm sorry. I think a jail facility. And many of the people there are black and Hispanic. And she said right up front, I will only talk to Spanish-speaking people. I will not talk to black people. Now this lady is jet black in color. I'm not over-exaggerating. She's extreme. She was what you call a very dark-skinned black person and a black American. She wasn't, she speaks Spanish, though. She can speak Spanish fluently. She speaks with a uh, North American accent, Black American accent, if I could say that. I hope none of you are offended by that term, but she has an African American, a Northern African American accent. Okay, very dark skin, and she refuses to talk to Black people, and she can speak both English and Spanish. She said, I refuse to talk to Black people. So look at that. And at least she was honest. But this is what I'm talking about. That we don't like ourselves. We hate ourselves. And we do anything to avoid who we are. Even the schools avoid teaching us about our care, hair care, skin care, and mental health care. Let's pass the buck on somebody else. I hate myself, they say. That's what they're saying to themselves. I hate myself. I think this is pathetic. It is 2018. I live in an extremely diversified community of people. Extremely diversified in its skin color, hair color. And I'm reminded again, 4 years ago I went to get my hair colored. I have a fascination with red hair for whatever reason. I love red hair. I wanted to go to a place near where I live. I'm tired of using the trains, whatever. I wanted a place local. I believe in shopping local. If you can walk there, go there. It's in your neighborhood, go there. So I went to a neighborhood place, maybe like 5 blocks away from me, 6 blocks away. But it's considered a white salon. There are no Black salons in my neighborhood. Even though where I live, it has a lot of everything that lives there. Okay? The Black salons probably way, way uptown, and they're Spanish speaking. And I don't speak Spanish. And I had a problem going to a Black hair provider. She was also jet black in color, but she's Spanish speaking. And one of the people there made an issue because I'm not Spanish speaking, why I'm in their neighborhood, even though my father was born at that place. And this was a new arrival for some other foreign place. But I was very nice to them. I said, oh, well, my father was born here, and I went to visit. Oh, so you're just going back to the old neighborhood. He wasn't to do my hair. He was just standing, occupying space. It wasn't his salon. It was like a small rented space. It's a little bigger than a closet, like twice the size of a closet, very small space. Like a lot of the people, they really can't afford the rents there, so they might sublease a small little corner in a store to get to do work. And this was a lady from the Dominican Republic, really nice lady, hardly spoke any English, but her daughter was there. Her daughter had a light complexion, and she was getting her hair done as I walked in, and she was very nice, and she spoke English. And she translated to her mom that what I wanted done, and the mother did my hair. She was a nice lady. But the other person, it was a man, lighter. He was my color, and he's telling me in short that I don't belong in this neighborhood because I don't speak Spanish. Isn't that awful? And so, okay, I have to back up a little bit. I almost got off the the topic a little bit, but that place that was to do my hair. Well, the manager or the owner of this salon. Now I go in. I said, I'm interested in getting my hair colored. That's all. It's virgin. Outside of that, it's virgin hair, but just I had what was that? Oh no, it was virgin hair. It was virgin hair. My apology. It was virgin hair I had, so they didn't have to work with any color, be super cautious because it was relaxed or any other hair treatment to it. Virgin hair, healthy hair, and I had in two plaits, two braids. And I said I wanted it was also a little cold, and I had a little hat on. So I take the hat off, and no one is servicing me. No one. I'm sitting there for a long time, and I went to the front desk. I just want to get my hair colored, and I'm sitting there for quite a while, and people are getting their hair done who just walked in. They walk in, they sit down, and the person, they had a shampoo girl come and, oh, let me shampoo your hair now. And they're getting service right away. And then I say, I've been here for a while. What's going on? Oh, and then I think it was the owner. He was an Eastern European, a Russian type, I think. And he comes to me and says, oh, what do you want done? I said, oh, I want my hair colored red. Well, I didn't know that was going to be a no-no term. Why you want it red? If you get it red, you have to keep on coming back here and keep getting it done. I said, well, I like red hair. I want my hair done in red. You're a colorist here. You specialize in hair coloring. So that's why I'm here. I want my hair colored. So well, you have to take out the bridge yourself. It was just two plaits, two pigtails. So I removed the pigtails myself. And he's looking, and then he just has me sitting there for a long ass time. And people are getting their hair done. And then he tells the shampoo, the shampoo girls are those Hispanic girls. They're just a little lighter than me. And they're not looking at me like, who's this chick? Okay, my hair's not that much different than theirs, okay? So I go in the back, they're going to now my hair's not dirty. I think I washed my hair the day before, something, not long. It could have been the day before, So I think I tell them, I say, hey, my hair's not really dirty, but, just a light wash or something like that. But I don't feel like they really want to wash my hair. And then they just had me at the sink. And he was to do, so I forget, he was to do a particular thing on it. But he's wasted, but he's not doing it. I said, why do you just have me at the sink? Why aren't you doing my hair? Yeah, it was I could have some of the sequences of events a little confused, but the main issue is that he's not doing my hair. And in general, when you get your hair shampooed, you don't shampoo it first and then the hair color, because hair color picks up better when it has oils in it, because the hair pigment grabs onto the oils and so it penetrates more. So I thought that was weird. So and when I was in cosmetology school, they never shampooed the hair first and do the hair coloring. They always do the hair color first and then the shampoo after. Because again, if you shampoo the hair, you accidentally scratch the scalp with your nails, you're going to hurt that client when you use the hair color, permanent hair color that is. He was to do permanent hair coloring on me. And so it's peroxide in it. And if you wash your hair, it's just going to make it more fragile. You have to be really careful, and you need the oils in the hair for the hair pigments to pick up. And but I could tell he really doesn't want to do it. So I remember he did a bit like, okay, what happened now? So he does do the thing, but then he doesn't want to style it. I'm just sitting there and sitting there again, and everybody else is getting their work done. And I was getting angry. And so I remind them again, hey, what's going on? They had another person to style my hair, a woman. And I'm angry now. So remember what I mentioned in the early part of the video when I was in cosmetology school, and a Portuguese lady who has very coarse hair, and with her texture here, when she gets a perm, and when I mean perm, I mean a Caucasian, what white people get to curl the hair. I know a lot of black people use the term, I'm getting my hair perm, when they really mean relaxer. Well, I mean perm meaning getting your hair curled. And when the Portuguese lady says when she gets her hair permed, that her hair looks like she used the N word, a pejorative for black people. And what I told her, to get my point across, that you're saying that word in front of me, and me being a black person, okay? So so I wanted to get my point across that I didn't like what was done, and I think what was done was very obvious, that they didn't want to do my hair, that you're shampooing my hair first for a hair coloring treatment, permanent hair color treatment, and that shouldn't have been done. And then you have me waiting and waiting, and all these people are getting their hair serviced that are just walk-ins. So I sat down, and there's a white lady from also Eastern Europe. And then I said to her, and this is true, okay, according to what my mother told me. My mother told me that her grandfather, what was that? That I'm part Russian. Okay, I am a mixed race. Okay, but I classify myself as a black person, a mixed race black person. But I told her, I said, on my mother's side, they're from Sebastopol, Russia. There's he was Russian speaking. Oh wow, wow! I'm from Russia too. I'm so sorry that we had you wait there for all this time. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, we should have done that to you, or they should have done that to you. Next time when you come in here, you make sure you come directly to me, and I'll make sure you never wait again. Okay? I knew she would say something like that because, Russians would ever, help out other Russians. Okay? But I shouldn't be required to have to say that. I should be treated like everyone else. See that? I should be treated like everybody else who comes into that salon. It's owned by Russians or Eastern Europeans to get their hair done. This particular white salon, they do hair color. That's what the whites do at that place. You go in, you get the hair frosted, or the coloring. They're colorists. Okay, that's what's popular there, and so that's why I go there. That's why I went there, because the black salons don't really focus on color. They focus on getting your hair relaxed or getting a hair weave. Okay, and this is a neighborhood place, so that's another reason why they they focus on hair coloring, and it's in my neighborhood, and so they should be equipped to do it, because in the schools you have to when you get your license, you're going to be tested on black hair care. That's the test. You have to be tested on doing all the different attributes of hair So hair coloring, hair cutting, finger waving, all that stuff. And hair relaxers. You have to be tested to get your license, your cosmetology license. But somehow they don't know how to do your hair. So I that's where my baggage comes from. And that's relatively recent. That's like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Right here in New York City, where you got tons and tons and tons of people, all types of hair types. And it's virgin hair. And you just had to put the hair coloring in. Boom. And remember what I mentioned in the beginning of the video? I had a friend that, a light-skinned girlfriend, but she doesn't look like a black person, but she's a black girl. Okay? She's from the West Indies. She has my type of hair, but she has very white skin. So they just maybe think that she's Hispanic or something like that. And whether Hispanic or not, you got hair like mine. And the Italian guy did her hair with such care and used this nice hair product to color her hair. And she wasn't required to have to go upstairs to the black salon portion of the salon. The white salon is down below and the black salon is upstairs. She went into the white salon, where the white people get the white and Hispanics get their hair done. So it was very reminiscent, again, with this person that was to color my hair. But he obviously didn't want to do my hair. He didn't want to take out the pigtails, two pigtails. Sorry about that. The battery's running low. So he didn't want to do the pigtails, to undo the two pigtails. And then he didn't seem to really want to do the hair coloring. And it made an issue because it was red hair, red color that that I wanted. And that, if you get red, you have to keep coming back here and get it done. I'm sure he doesn't say that to white people who come in there. Right, red is very popular. You got people who get their hair done blue, pink, you know what I'm getting at. So here in New York City, I'm again reminded of what I am. And again, I love my hair. I love my, as you know, Spirit Journey doesn't relax her hair. Spirit Journey doesn't color her hair. Spirit Journey doesn't put hair weaves in her hair. I am a natural woman. Yes, I am a natural woman of color, a brown skinned, mixed race black woman. And I love my color. And I can't stand these people who let you know where they're really coming from. And again, as I mentioned with the tattoo, that's why I'm doing this live stream, because people's true attitude, even in the tattoo liberal world, does not want to do your skin, and yet they're first prize winners in world competitions. World competitions. Highly seasoned tattoo artists. Shame on you, tattoo artists who want to back out and then don't want to do your tattoo. And again, the person who did my tattoo was someone, by coincidence, who was in a relationship with a dark-skinned black person, the mother of his child. So only, it seems like white people who do blacks, they only see, I guess, with that experience, that you have to already be in the community in some way. So he had a child with a black woman, dark-skinned black woman. And he does all types of people in a salon near where I live. However, the other salon that I went to yesterday, in the opposite direction, still like a 15-minute walk from where I live, where you have a lot of people my color. And they do their guest work, they're guest artists at the tattoo parlor. And they have all those clientels that people that they can do. And he didn't have the knowledge of how much I need to lighten the tattoo, if any, to do it, the cover up. And again, he won first prize for the cover up, cover up tattoo. So here we have firsthand knowledge how much the person had to lighten in the tattoo to do that first prize winning, international winning of that tattoo design. Okay, and so why aren't they doing people of color? Because they really don't want to do you. In a nutshell. So that's all that I'm going to share for now. It's a long enough video, but I wanted to get my point across, and I'm glad I did share. Excuse me. I'm glad that I did share about my beauty history, as for getting hair, nails, skin, and tattoo done in America. Shame on you, America. Shame on you for poo-pooing on black people. And it really wouldn't matter if I was a light-skinned black or ultra light-skinned black. They just don't want to do you. They would just say, oh, we're afraid to do you. Your skin might keloid. But you have all these people all over the world, and they do them, but they don't want to do you. So this is, again, another wake-up call why a lot of black people act differently in New York City, because we know we're not loved. But I say again, you YouTubers of any color or persuasion, to love yourself, love the person you see in the mirror, love, caress yourself, enjoy yourself, because you are beautiful. You are indigenous to this planet. This is your land. And again, love all people, all persuasions that are out there, because we are one family under this planet, and we should all know about each other so we can help one another, so we can service one another. Just like if you were a doctor. A true doctor doesn't say, oh, well, I only do certain races. A real psychotherapist doesn't say, well, I only talk to certain ethnic groups. If you're a real tattoo artist, show me by who you do. A real tattoo artist does all types of people, all skin colors. And that's all I can say. I'm not going to out the person. Again, they don't want to do it. And I can't force them. And I can't force the owner of that tattoo parlor, the name of that person that might be more expert at doing brown skin. I'll keep you posted if I do decide to force the name out of him and me go directly to that tattoo parlor. I mean, that other so-called expert in brown skin. Who knows? Well, if any of you know a person that does tattoos, a work of art on my skin color, on black people, let me know. Let me know, and you can write in the comments if you know of a very skilled, talented, true tattoo artist with their own shop that's clean, that's hygienic, that's professional. Let me know down below, and let me know where I can go, who this person is, whether it's a he or she. I just want a professional, okay, and advise how much to lighten with the tattoo, so that they can put a work of art on my arm if I decide to do so. So, with that last note, I thank you all, and may you have a blessed day. Love one another and love yourself especially. Take care, guys. And thank you, viewer, for listening to me. Bye bye.